and a very warm welcome to Ameco. You're watching our daily updates live from the studio. I'm Gaila Damu. Stay tuned. African leaders underscored that the continent's agricultural sector requires dedicated leadership in order to achieve self-sufficiency in food. Maud Domulye has more on it.
Ethiopia hosted a high-level event on food self-reliance in Africa titled Africa Can Be Food Self-Reliant, Climate-Smart Solutions and Collective Action for Food System Transformation on the sideline of the 37th Ordinary Session of the African Union's Assembly of Heads of State and Government. The event held at the recently inaugurated Adwa Victory Memorial highlighted the need for self-sufficiency. During the forum, Ethiopian President Sahle-Work Zewde emphasized that 90% of Africa's agriculture relies on rainfall and highlighted the adverse effects of climate change on the continent's agricultural practices. Sahle-Work also identified limited access to finance and other challenges as significant obstacles to ensuring food security. The president cited Ethiopia's leadership role in Pan-Africanism and highlighted the country's practical efforts towards achieving food self-sufficiency in recent years.
As a champion of the Pan-African Common Position, Ethiopia has implemented a number of climate-smart solutions over the past few years that can be shared as best practices with our African brothers and sisters. One of the prominent climate-smart solutions we pursued is the Green Legacy Initiative. As part of this initiative, we have extensively expanded the cultivation of perennial crops and fruit to promote food system self-reliance and resilience.
Sahle-Work also emphasized the importance of modernizing agriculture to ensure food sovereignty and integrating the Green Legacy Initiative into the food system to address climate change. The president urged other countries to learn from Ethiopia's success and work diligently to ensure food security. Sahle-Work added that Africans can ensure their food sovereignty if they unite and should learn from Adwa's victory.
Now more than ever, we must collaborate. When we, Africans, work together by pooling resources, sharing vision and knowledge, and implementing coordinated strategies for climate-smart and sustainable agricultural practices, technological advancement, and improved infrastructure, it will not be long before Africa becomes food self-reliant, and Adwa is a testament to our ability to achieve what once seems unthinkable.
Uganda's Minister of Agriculture, Frank Tumubeze, on his part, emphasized comprehensive support for farmers with small to large holdings as a crucial step towards achieving food self-sufficiency.
Let's value our farmers much more than ever because they feed us. Let's profile them and know whether small, whether medium, and whether large. And we plan for each one of them to have a hybrid of interventions. That's how we will be able to utilize the unutilized 60% of Africa's arable land to food production.
Deputy Director General of the World Food and Agriculture Organization, Helena Semedo, acknowledged Africa's progress towards self-sufficiency in food and emphasized the importance of strengthening these efforts. Semedo highlighted the need for adequate financial support and capacity building for farmers, along with ambitious planning and implementation to achieve the national goal of self-sufficiency in a short period.
Bringing the investment and bringing the capacity to the farmers can be big, medium, or small. They are the ones who produce our food. Let's be innovative and let's create more solidarity, more coordination, and more cooperation.
Minister of Agriculture Girma Amanté expressed satisfaction with the successful forum, which focused on Africa's potential for food self-sufficiency. Girma said Ethiopia has shared its experience in wheat cultivation, the Bounty of Basket program, fruits and vegetables, emphasizing the importance of sharing knowledge and experiences among African nations.
The Prime Minister of Chad, Success Masra, said that the recently inaugurated Adwa Victory Memorial in Addis Ababa is a living African pride, independence and glory. Ron Workana tells us more.
I can quote Nelson Mandela because he said the battle which took place here was a source of inspiration for all the freedom fighters across the continent.
Leaders and ministers of various countries visited the Adwa Victory Memorial on the margin of the 37th African Union Ordinary Summit held in Addis Ababa. The Adwa Victory Memorial provides major historical status of pertinent individuals like Emperor Menelik II, Empress Tayyatu Betul, and army generals who spearheaded Ethiopia's victory in the battle. It depicts significant historical facts like the spirit of Pan-Africanism and the black people's fight for freedom, which were sparked following Adwa's victory. The Prime Minister of Chad, Masra, who was among the visiting dignitaries, said the Grand Memorial is an asset for all Africans, expressing gratitude to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, and the people of the country for making this a reality.
This is an asset for all Africans. This is why, as the Prime Minister of Chad, I think I would like to thank the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, my brother Abiy, and the people of Ethiopia for making sure that this spirit of Ethiopia, which is an African spirit of freedom, is alive, so that every African can come here and go back with a lot of pride and knowing that we can be free, and so we should remain free, and this is how we can handle our future.
Masra also urged all Africans to further strengthen their unity to ensure their freedom in all aspects.
As an African, I feel really honored and proud to come here and to see that, there is this Africa we don't talk a lot of. And I think it's time for all Africans to remember that here in Ethiopia, here in Africa, some from day one were free in their mindset, in their battles, and they remain free.
The Prime Minister has also commended Ethiopia for its principle of humanity that its people had demonstrated during the Battle of Adwa, which is a great lesson to humanity.
Ethiopia has shown not only the hospitality but also the humanity, because we can see from the pictures here that even when they were able to catch the soldiers from Italy, they gave them back, which means that they were not just there to kill them, but to make sure that they protect their country, and that's it. So everybody can come, and this is a great lesson of humanity. And coming from a country, Chad, which is considered to be the cradle of the humanity, I think there is a link, and I feel Ethiopian, I feel African, and I feel proud.
Ethiopia's government communication service said that the Somali African Union Ordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government in Addis Ababa was baseless and contrary to the principles of diplomacy. Vivant Nessa has more.
Government Communication Service briefed the media about the successful conclusion of the 37th AU Summit. State Minister of Government Communication Service Salamawit Kasa said the hospitality rendered to the participants of the summit were splendid, achieving remarkable diplomatic success. The State Minister added that leaders of African countries, representatives of international institutions, diplomats and guests who participated at the summit were accorded warm welcome and hospitality. Regarding the accusation made by Somalia government, the State Minister said the accusation is baseless and the intention was to tarnish Ethiopia's image of hosting the summit with grand hospitality. Salamawit underscored that the Somalia delegation attempted to enter the summit venue carrying weapons, which was unacceptable. The State Minister said hosting summit with utmost diplomatic considerations and Ethiopian hospitality is the national pride for Ethiopia, adding that the summit has been very successful in this regard. Ethiopia received President of Somalia with similar ceremonial welcome and accorded to all heads of state and government.
Ethiopia and Mauritius have agreed to enhance the relations for the benefits of their respective peoples. Ethiopia's State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Misganu Arga, conferred with Primode Nerunjun, the Cabinet Secretary and Head of Civil Service of the Office of the Prime Minister of Mauritius. During their conversation, Ambassador Misganu stated that Ethiopia is committed to the cause of Africa and supports Mauritius in international matters. Both sides emphasized the potential for cooperation in trade, tourism, aviation, and agriculture, and agreed to strengthen their bilateral relations for the benefits of their respective peoples. The two sides highlighted the importance of establishing bilateral mechanisms at various levels in order to streamline relations, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs shared on its social media. As we proceed to news beyond borders, leaders at an African Union summit condemned Israel's offensive in Gaza and called for its immediate end. The chair of the African Union Commission, Moussa Faki, said that Israel's offensive was the most flagrant violation of the international humanitarian law and accused Israel of having exterminated Gaza's inhabitants. Faki spoke alongside Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh, who also addressed the summit. Azali Assoumani, president of the Comoros and the outgoing chairperson of the African Union, praised the case brought by South Africa against Israel at the International Court of Justice while condemning the genocide Israel is committing in Palestine under our nose. A quarter of Gaza's residents are starving because of the war, which began with Hamas's assault into Israel on October 7th, in which militants killed about 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and abducted around, as African News reported it. US says it hit 3 mobile anti-ship cruise missiles, 1 unmanned underwater vessel, and 1 unmanned surface vessel. The United States has conducted 5 strikes in areas of Yemen controlled by Houthi rebels, U.S. Central Command has said. It said it struck 3 mobile anti-ship cruise missiles, 1 unmanned surface vessel, and 1 unmanned underwater. The strikes come amid heightened tensions in the region, where Houthi fighters have carried out attacks on commercial and military shipping since November. The Houthis initially said that they would target Israel-linked ships in a show of solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza, but later expanded their targets to include vessels linked to the United Kingdom and the US. London and Washington have responded by hitting Houthi targets in Yemen multiple times, characterizing the Houthi attacks as indiscriminate and a threat to global trade. There was no immediate comment from the Iran-aligned Houthi group, as Al Jazeera News reported it. That's all the news we have for today. I am Gaila Damu. Thanks for watching and stay tuned with the rest of our programs.